There are things you do every single day that might be quietly destroying your confidence. And you probably don't even realize you're doing them. And no, I'm not talking about some huge life mistake. I'm talking about really small habits. The way you talk about yourself, perhaps. The way you react when you make a mistake. The people you compare yourself to. Even the things you tell yourself, you'll do it tomorrow. And the scary part is that none of these habits feels like you're destroying your confidence while you're doing them. They actually feel normal. But over time, they teach you one very damaging belief. I can't trust myself. And once you stop trusting yourself, your confidence starts to disappear. So today I want to go through 5 habits that quietly destroy your confidence. And more importantly, what you could do instead. And I'd pay particular attention to the number 5 because I think it's one of the most common mistake that everyone does, and is one of these mistakes that we're actually mistaken for being lazy. Number 1, you're constantly apologizing. I'm not talking about apologizing when you actually done something wrong, because that's actually correct. You should do that. I'm talking about saying sorry for things that don't require an apology. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, can I ask you something? Sorry, I don't know if this makes sense. Sorry, I'm probably overthinking this. Eventually, you start apologizing simply for taking up space. And the problem isn't the word sorry itself, it's what you're subconsciously communicating to yourself. My presence is an inconvenience. Imagine doing that every single day. Eventually, you're going to start feeling like you need permission to speak, to have an opinion, or to ask for what you want. So, try replacing unnecessary apologies with something more neutral. Instead of sorry I'm late, try thanks for waiting. Instead of sorry can I ask you something, just ask the question. You don't need to apologize for existing. Number 2, constantly compare yourself to other people. This is one of the most obvious ones, but I think we underestimate how much actually it can affect us. You look at someone else's body, for example. You look at their career, their relationship, their house, their confidence, their lifestyle, and all of a sudden you feel behind. But here is the problem. You are comparing yourself every day and your everyday life to somebody else highlighted reels. And even when you're comparing yourself to someone you genuinely admire, you usually only see the part of their life that confirms the story you're telling to yourself. You see their success, you don't see the years of spent failing. You see their confidence, but you don't see the insecurities they might still have. You see where they are now, but you don't see where they started. And the more you compare yourself, the more your brain learns everyone is ahead of me. Instead, try asking yourself a different question. Not why I'm not where they are, but I'm further ahead than I was 6 months ago. Because the comparison, it can help you. Number 3, you constantly talk badly about yourself. This is one I would say most snaky one, because sometimes it's something that we do, but we disguise it as humor. For example, I'm so stupid. Oh my god, I'm terrible at this. I always mess everything up. I'm just not confident. I could never do that. You might say these things as a joke, but your brain doesn't always understand the difference between joke and belief that you repeat 20 times perhaps a week, and eventually you start acting in accordance with the identity you created. If you constantly tell yourself you're bad at something, you're going to be less likely to try it. If you constantly tell yourself you're awkward, you're going probably to become an hyper-aware person of everything you say and do. If you constantly tell yourself you're not confident, you're going to start looking for evidence that proves you're not confident. And I'm not saying you need to walk around saying, I'm amazing, I'm perfect, I'm the greatest human being on this earth. That's not confidence. Instead, just stop unnecessarily attacking yourself. Instead of, I'm terrible at this, try it, I'm not good at this yet. That tiny word, yet, leaves a room for growth. Number 4, you avoid anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. This is probably one of the biggest ones. You don't speak up because you're nervous. You don't go somewhere alone because you feel awkward. You don't start the project because you're scared it won't be good. You don't approach someone because you fear that you might be rejected. And every time you avoid something because you feel uncomfortable, you get a little bit of relief. Which, yeah, it feels good. But there is a catch. Your brain learns avoiding this kept me safe. So, next time you are in a similar situation, the fear gets even stronger. This is why confidence doesn't usually come before you do the scary thing. Confidence comes after you prove to yourself that you can handle it. You don't need to suddenly become fearless. Start ridiculously small. Make a phone call. Go somewhere by yourself. Speak up in a conversation. Post the video perhaps, even though you're worried people won't like it. Do one thing that makes you slightly uncomfortable, because every time you do that, you're collecting evidence in your brain that says, I can handle this. And that's where a real confidence comes from. Number 5, you keep waiting for motivation. This one might be the most damaging because it looks completely harmless. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel motivated. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I'll start that project when I'm in the right mindset. I'll become more confident when I feel better about myself. But motivation isn't reliable. Some days you have loads of it. Some days you have absolutely none. And if you only act when you feel motivated, you're constantly teaching yourself, I only trust myself when I feel like it. And that destroys self-trust. Because confidence isn't just believing that you're capable. A huge part of confidence is knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. And that's why keeping tiny promises to yourself is so powerful. If you tell yourself you're going for a 20 minutes walk, just go. If you're saying you're going to spend 30 minutes working on something, just do it. If you're saying you're going to wake up and not immediately spend an hour scrolling on your phone, try it. It doesn't have to be impressive. The point is that you're proving to yourself, when I'm saying I'm going to do something, I can rely on myself. And that is confidence. So if you feel less confident lately, maybe you don't need to completely reinvent yourself. Maybe you just need to stop doing the things that are slowly teaching you not to trust in yourself. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop measuring your life against everyone else. Stop talking to yourself like you're your first own enemy. Stop running from every uncomfortable situation. Stop waiting for motivation to become the person you want to be. Because confidence isn't something you wake up with one morning. It's something you build through hundreds of tiny interactions with yourself. Every time you keep a promise, every time you do something uncomfortable, every time you speak to yourself with a little more respect, you're giving yourself another reason to trust yourself. And eventually, that becomes confidence. So the question isn't, how do I become more confident? Maybe the better question is, what am I doing every day that's making me trust myself less? Because once you figure that out, you can start changing it. And that's where things really start to change. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with another one. Love you lot.